Hello! As an orthopedic surgeon, I spend my days fixing broken bones. But today, I want to talk about how to keep you out of my operating room. We're going to talk about a tiny pill, something prescribed to millions for sleep, that could be the very first step on a direct path to a devastating fracture. Okay, let's get right into it.
This isn't just a theory for me. It's a pattern I've seen play out over and over again for years. A patient comes in, their hip shattered, and when we dig into their medical history, what do we find? So often, it's a prescription for a sleeping pill. The connection is it's undeniable. And today, we're going to break down exactly why.
And I need you to understand what's at stake here. A hip fracture isn't like breaking your wrist. For an older person, it is a catastrophic, life-changing event. It often signals the end of their independence, it can trigger a downward spiral in their health, and tragically, it dramatically increases their risk of not surviving the year. That is why I am so passionate about preventing this.
So how does this whole journey to the operating room even begin? Well, it usually starts with a really common problem, insomnia. And for millions, the answer seems to lie in the simple promise of a pill.
Now, we're really looking at two main culprits here. You've got the older class, benzodiazepines, which you've probably heard of. But more and more, what we're seeing are prescriptions for these so-called Z drugs. They were marketed as this newer, safer, cleaner alternative. But, as we're about to find out, that perception of safety might just be a very dangerous illusion.
I mean, these Z drugs are everywhere, especially for older women. The way they work is by hitting these GABA receptors in your brain, which basically just pumps the brakes on everything and calms your brain down. And yeah, that gives you the sedative effect you're looking for. But look at that last point. It also has muscle relaxant properties. And that right there, that's our first big red flag.
Which brings us to the single most important question in this whole discussion. When you take that pill and you're knocked unconscious for 8 hours, are you actually getting the deep, restorative, healing sleep your body desperately needs? The science is screaming the answer. Absolutely not.
This, right here, is the core of the problem. What these drugs are giving you is not true sleep. It is sedation. And the difference between those two things is everything when it comes to your health.
To really get this, we need to talk about something called sleep architecture. Think of it like a blueprint for a perfect night's rest. Your brain is supposed to cycle through these different stages, light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, in a very specific rhythm to get all its nightly repair work done.
And let's zoom in on one stage in particular, slow-wave sleep, or what we all call deep sleep. This isn't just about being really out of it. No, this is when the construction crew comes in. This is the most physically restorative phase where your body is actively rebuilding and repairing itself.
So what is this construction crew actually doing? It's repairing your muscles, it's releasing growth hormone, it's literally washing toxins out of your brain, and most importantly, for what we're talking about today, it's regulating your bone metabolism. Deep sleep is when your skeleton actually regenerates and strengthens itself. It is non-negotiable for having strong bones.
So, what happens when we throw a sleeping pill into this finely tuned system? It's a disaster. It's like a wrecking ball to your sleep architecture. It completely obliterates that crucial deep sleep. It just wipes it out and replaces it with this long, unnatural stretch of light sleep. So yeah, you're unconscious, but your body is being starved of its most vital repair cycle.
So here's the bottom line. These drugs don't fix your sleep problem. They just cover it up with a cheap, counterfeit version of sleep. A broken version that night after night prevents your muscles and your bones from healing, making them weaker and more brittle over time. All right, now let's connect those dots. Let's trace the path from that broken sleep directly to the broken bones that I see every single day.
It's really a perfect storm, a two-punch combo. First, because you're not getting that deep sleep, your musculoskeletal system is getting weaker day by day. Your bones are getting less dense, your muscles are losing strength. Second, the drug is often still in your system the next morning, making you drowsy, unsteady, and messing with your balance. You've got a weaker body that's also more likely to fall. A fall stops being a risk, it starts to become an inevitability.
So you're probably thinking, okay, I get it, but how big is this risk really? Is this a minor thing? Well, I want you to see the data for yourself. And honestly, it's shocking.
Let's just start with this number, 1.63.
What that means is, in a massive analysis of almost 1 million people, if you take Z drugs, your odds of breaking any bone in your body are 63% higher than someone who doesn't. This isn't a fluke. This is a huge, powerful finding.
But it gets worse.
Let's look at the specific injury that, as a surgeon, I dread the most for my patients.
1.96. That means for older adults, the very people most likely to get these prescriptions, the risk of a hip fracture is almost doubled, a nearly 100% increase in the risk of that catastrophic, life-ending injury. That is a terrifying price to pay for a night of unconsciousness.
So what is the alternative? Do we just give up and accept bad sleep? Absolutely not. The real answer isn't to force the body into submission with a drug. It's to work with its own powerful natural programming. The answer lies in your body's master clock. You've heard of your circadian rhythm, your internal 24-hour clock. But it's so much more than just what makes you sleepy or awake. It is the master conductor for your entire body's orchestra, including muscle repair and, yes, bone metabolism. When that clock is out of sync, your bone density takes a direct hit.
So how do we fix it? Well, it's not with another pill. It's with powerful, simple behaviors. The most important one? Consistency. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every single day, yes, even on weekends. Get bright sunlight in your eyes first thing in the morning. That's the on switch for your brain. Move your body. And even just eating your meals at regular times helps get all those internal clocks ticking in harmony again.
You see the difference in philosophy here. Instead of bludgeoning the body with a sedative, we're giving it the simple cues it needs to heal and regulate itself. This doesn't just produce better sleep, it builds true, deep resilience from the inside out. It makes you stronger, preventing that fracture from ever happening in the first place.
So I'll leave you with this one thought to consider. Take a hard look at that prescription. Is it really a cure for your sleepless nights? Or is it a ticket to my operating room? The choice and the power to prevent that injury truly is in your hands. Thank you for listening.